Have a great weekend. Good night.
Good night.
This is Win News.
Tonight, Cyclone Ului on track for a Sunday morning touchdown. Residents go on a cyclone-induced shopping spree. And Mike Brunker to stand for the seat of Dawson. Hello, I'm Paul Taylor.
And I'm Samantha Heathwood. Later in the bulletin, the Cutters are eager for victory in the first home game of the season.
But first tonight, it's been announced 7-day trading in Mackay will commence from May the 16th. We will bring you a full report in Monday night's bulletin. Forecasters continue to monitor Category 2 tropical cyclone Ului. It's expected to cross the Queensland coast early on Sunday morning, somewhere between Cardwell and Yeppoon.
Cyclone Ului is keeping everyone on their toes as it edges towards the Queensland coast.
And it has markedly moved towards the southwest, so it's picking up its southwesterly track.
And even though the storm has been downgraded to a Category 2, it's picked up speed and threatens areas between Cardwell and Yeppoon.
Still gives you destructive winds, which is minor damage to houses, major damage to trees and caravans.
Forecasters predict the areas around Bowen and Proserpine will be most affected when Ului makes landfall early on Sunday morning.
Our seas, waves and swells will increase and our winds will gradually increase, and we will be in 100km/h winds sometime tomorrow.
The region's beaches and beachside suburbs are expected to bear the brunt of the storm.
Starting from 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, we'll be on standby, of course, if any problems arises, but most of the beaches will be closed. Best thing to do is to come down, the red and yellow flag's not flying, don't go on the beaches.
Jetstar flights to and from Hamilton Island have been cancelled for the weekend.
Some of the smaller islands might relocate some of their guests if they want to. They usually give them that option.
Volunteer Marine Rescue will be closing up shop over the weekend, and they're urging locals to secure their boats as the wind intensifies.
And we advise them, don't go out and go to shelter somewhere and put your yachts up in the creek.
Isabella Robinson, Win News.
Emergency crews and Mackay Regional Council met today to prepare for what could be a very busy weekend. Shopping centres were also jam-packed as residents hit the stores in a last-minute buying spree.
Anxious shoppers were forced to queue for over 20 minutes. Supermarket shelves were stripped bare as residents made a last-minute attempt to stock up.
Mainly bread and tinned food, I say, because if the power goes off, well, you can't use your refrigerators.
Locals were lucky if they got their hands on the bare necessities.
There's no batteries, the larger batteries that go into the radios.
They're getting a bit light on in there, eh? I said they ought to create a cyclone every week. Woolworths, they'd be right, eh?
While shopping centres were forced into chaos, workmen spent the day securing equipment and material on the Forgan Bridge. Shutters were drawn on the council chambers before emergency crews gathered inside to discuss the weekend ahead.
We don't have evacuation places for cyclones, and that's obviously because you don't know what's going to happen.
The best advice being given to locals is to stay inside and wait the storm out. The SES is warning locals to be alert but not alarmed. Queensland Health says patients have been relocated and discharged from local hospitals as precautionary measures and to make way for those who may need medical assistance over the next few days. Kirsty Johansson, Win News.
Meantime, Ului's imposing presence is forcing the cancellation of events across the region. The Pioneer Valley Music Festival, swine flu clinics and various sporting carnivals have already been called off.
Despite being 1,000 kilometres off the coast, Ului is already making its presence felt, with a host of weekend events called off. Sporting cancellations include the AFL pre-season carnival at Airlie Beach, the Junior Rugby League 7-a-side and the Basketball Under-16 Top of the North at Candlestick Park, while the Pool Cup cricket semi-final between Walkerston and South won't go ahead. Mackay Netball President Lynn Law says junior fixtures and Mackay State rep trials are still on.
We'd just like to have a look at what's actually going to happen, try to monitor the system as closely as we possibly can,
and then make a decision.
Mackay Rentals Cup hockey at Borrell Field and the Cutters games at the Junior Rugby League grounds are still expected to be played. The Mackay Home Show had to pull their displays apart in a hurry as the Cyclone draws closer.
We'll start packing down today and we'll be gone by tomorrow, hopefully, let everything off the site.
The Pioneer Valley will be without country music this weekend as the festival becomes another victim of the unpredictable weather.
It was very difficult to find a free weekend that is available for everybody and suits everybody. We'll have a same festival next year, just bigger and better.
A swine flu vaccination clinic at Serena High School has been rescheduled to a later date. Natalie Win, Win News.
Now to this week's Win poll results. We wanted to know if you're cyclone ready. 100% of callers said yes.
That's terribly positive.
Victoria's Tory Street looks pretty good at this stage, doesn't it? The satellite picture, this is the earlier this morning animation. You can see tropical cyclone Ului at that stage about a Category 3 and shortly to be downgraded to a Category 2. However, more timely data at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Look at most of Queensland, it's mostly fine right throughout the coastal areas, very isolated shower activity. But here it is at 3 o'clock this afternoon, still well northeast of Mackay. Can you pick the eye? It's rather hard to discern, isn't it? So I've got a visual satellite picture for you. This is taken around about 1 o'clock this afternoon, and you can see the weak eye well up here. And there's the Mackay coast just here. So it's well northeast of the city and moving southwest. Right, I'm on to the chart. Now, number one tonight, a cyclone warning has been issued, okay? That means gales within 24 hours. The boundary is Ayr through to Yeppoon. So this cyclone has weakened somewhat. It's a Category 2 and will most likely make landfall Sunday morning between about Mackay and Bowen. So just stating a cyclone warning current from Ayr south to Yeppoon. The local forecast, a cyclone warning has been issued. Showers increasing to rain later the day. Heavy falls expected. The possibility of very damaging winds developing late tomorrow. Dangerous beach conditions. Sunday, heavy rain, damaging wind, dangerous beach conditions, easing later in the day. Now, coastal waters, obviously a gale warning is current. Southeast to southwest winds tomorrow, 35 to 45 knots. Winds dependent on the movement of tropical cyclone Ului. And at this stage for Sunday, clockwise winds of at least 40 to 50 knots, easing by late Sunday. So 7, and finally the summary. Remember, check all cyclone advices. Good luck to Mackay. I'll be up there for the weekend. In the meantime, it's straight back to Paul.
Good on you, Pete. Thanks for that. Well, all the news on weather biting, here is Clinton Hassan.
Till next Friday, have a safe weekend. And just remember, rain, hail or cyclone, every day is a great day for fishing.
I think he's pushing it just a little bit.
Glad to see him cast off. News headlines can be found on our website, wintv.com.au. Good night.
Good night.
This has been a Win News presentation from Win Television, Australia's largest commercial television network.